Hey, welcome to Sasaa, the Pan-African kitchen, in the middle of Copenhagen, Blågårdsgade. Let me show you around and welcome you. Welcome. My name is Mohamed Abdi. I have a Somali background, but I was raised in Denmark. I've been here for 25 years. That's the short introduction of who I am, and I am the owner and the initiator of Sarsa, the Pan-African kitchen in Blågårdsgade.
Very good. I'd like to ask a tricky question. You are here for all these years in Denmark. How do you feel more, Danish or in African or Somali?
That's actually it's a difficult question, but it's also a question that I get a lot. But the thing is, I'm Somali who grew up in Denmark with a Somali and a Muslim background. So it's how do I what do I describe myself as? A Muslim, a Somali, or Danish? And then I was like, it's a question that I had to reflect upon for many years. And then I came to the conclusion that God first, so I see myself as a Muslim, then as an African, then as a Somali, then as a Danish. But that took me a long time to somehow, put all these pieces together. But yeah, that's the definition, I would say, in that order. So when you come in at the restaurant, you receive a menu looking like this. We've thought of all the graphics, all the countries the food is coming from. So when you come here as a customer, you know what you're having, which country it's from. And yeah, very easy to read. Welcome. This is the great staff. We have Abdihanad, is actually my brother, a very charismatic, very nice guy. Abdihanad, say hello to the camera. Busy guy, very relaxed guy at the same time. We have Philia, very busy, hardworking chef. She's camera shy. But it's okay. Then we have Ryan, the youngest of the team. Oh, big man. So this is how we do our food. This is where we garnish our food. This is the food that we serve to the customers. You can zoom in, very famous jollof fries from the West African region. And then we have chakalaka from the southern part of Africa. We have some nice drinks, hand-picked Numba drinks. These are regulars, but we have Numba drinks. One of my brothers called Karim makes these, African inspired, locally made in Copenhagen. So yeah, this is Sarsa. Welcome, and we're glad to have you here.
Okay, let's talk about the restaurant. First, I would like to know Sarsa. What does it mean? Is there any meaning behind?
It actually does. It has the name of the restaurant is it's a Swahili word. Sasa. It's actually spelled S-A-S-A. The last A that is on this logo is added due to graphic things. So it gives a more balance to the name graphically. So that's why it's spelled like that. But Sasa means it's a saying in the Swahili language, like hey Sasa, like what's up, or Sasa in terms of a contemporary era. And the name it actually comes from back from Kolding, a city that I grew up in Jutland. I actually had Sasa restaurant in Kolding where I grew up, but it was a smaller restaurant with the same high ambition as this one. But it started in Kolding as a small street food restaurant where we only served samosa. So when we were starting the restaurant, me and my brother, we just what can we call it? What can we call it? And then the only thing we wanted to sell at that point was samoose. It's like samosa, and then it's Sasa. Okay, and then afterward I actually found out, okay, Sasa is actually it's a Swahili word, and then it just came together that way. And I was like, okay, Sasa is a good thing because I would like to be a name that is catchy, easy to remember, and also has this another meaning, because Sasa also means something that's in the present time, like now. And the deeper idea with Sasa is that it's a place that represents Africa with all the good things that we have from our culture, the art, the music, the food, and also the character and the hospitality of the Africans. And that's like seeing Africa as now, and not the history we had. Or so it's a place that has a contemporary understanding of African culture, but also aims to reach a future, looking towards the future.
Right. You already gave me a bit from the question that I want to ask, but I'll ask again so that the viewers and the listener will be able to understand. How it came about the idea of opening a restaurant? You say it started in Aalborg. I just want to get the
calling.
Yes. How it came about?
It's a funny thing, because my background, I'm an architect by profession.
Oh.
So I'm not a chef. I'm not I don't have a lot of experience as a waiter or working in a restaurant. I think I've worked in 2 restaurants in my life. So the idea came from a deep love and appreciation of the continent. And I've been to several countries due to my profession as an architect. So I've been in countries, the East African side, like I've been to Zanzibar, Tanzania, Kenya, I've also in Sierra Leone, so many different countries in sub-Saharan Africa. And then some of the things that many of these countries had in common was this, like the honest and just the honesty of meeting another person. So even though I'm Somali, who grew up in Denmark, me living in Sierra Leone, I could sit and talk with a brother from Sierra Leone, and there was just this connection. Difficult to explain, there was just a connection. And then this, how I ate, how you eat with people I don't know, in a village somewhere in Gambia, and we're eating from the same plate. Different ages, like different nationalities, we're eating from the same plate without thinking of all these, questions of, did he wash his hands, or all this stuff, but just being comfortable and something natural about sharing a meal. After my different travels to African countries, noticing the hospitality, the warmth of the African people, and also this natural event of sharing a plate of food, which I experienced in these, if I was in either Nairobi or a small village in Gambia, just the idea of sharing a plate of food, and you eat it with your hands, and you share it with a complete stranger, and they're like, oh yeah, come join us, and you eat. It's also the same with the Somali culture as well. In weddings, where you share a big plate of rice with lamb, and then everyone just digs in and we eat and we laugh, and without thinking of, did you wash your hands, or was this hygiene, but it's just a natural thing. So for me, it was that, I think, had something that has started a small idea of giving the same experience to Danes. And also this, on an academic and theoretical level, is also this idea of the Pan-African movement and the Pan-African ideology. So that I'm a big fan of and believer of. So it's also something that I've studied, and I was like, okay, how can you combine a place that could negate the idea of the stereotype of African that many people in Denmark has? How can you create a place that can showcase the high level of cultural understanding and awareness, like this small, like the understanding of aesthetics as Africans have, for art, for music, for poetry, all these cultural and creative aspect of the African people is not something that the ordinary Danes would think, because according to them, like, it's the Western people that are civilized. So for me, it's combination of those two things. How can I create a place that can gather and break this idea of nationalism, tribalism within ourselves as Africans, and create a place that a Nigerian, a Ghanaian, a Somalian, a Ugandan can come at the same restaurant, eat and enjoy the same food and recognize each other as one. So the idea of, oh, this restaurant is not owned by a Somali guy. No, it's owned by an African guy. And then as an African, when you enter here, it's just to give you the nostalgic experience of, okay, this African person serving me, a warmth, hospitality and welcome. It's food that I know. It's art that I can relate to. It's music that I also can relate to. And then having that sense of ownership. That's one thing. That is the internal, that's focusing on the African customers and guests. And the other thing is the ordinary Danish guy or woman that doesn't know anything about Africa, African food, African culture, to break that stereotype of Africans not being able to do anything. So coming in here and delivering a high level of quality of food that is rich in taste and presentation, but also like very beautiful art. And then just coming in here and getting educated, or at least having another experience of something authentic that you're not familiar with or you don't know. So that was the whole gathering all these things. Then Sasaa was born.
My name is Mohamed. The food is delicious, the atmosphere is good, the waiters are kind, and this is my second time, so it's perfect.
So you recommend it?
Definitely. All the food that we tasted is very good.
I love it. It's very delicious. I've recommended to many friends who has come here and says the same. It's really good.
All right.
And we like to support African restaurants like that, and Somalian restaurants as well.
Because of the pictures on Instagram, I work a lot with my eyes, and if I like what I see, I'm gonna come and eat it. And it has appealed to me because my mom and we lived in Africa for many years.
Where?
So, many countries: Congo, Togo, Senegal, Cameroon, the whole West where they speak French because we're French. Benin, yeah. So a lot of different countries, and it's nice to have a place again where we can eat the food that we once had and get a feel of it gives us some good memories.
So how was the food?
Amazing. We were just raving about it. There was nothing mediocre. Like every single thing I put in my mouth was like perfect. It was so good.
Oh, that's
check out Chelsea's YouTube channel.
So guys, you guys recommend it, right? To many people to come along.
So good.
I'm coming back every day.
You come every day.
Yeah, definitely our favorite restaurant in Copenhagen.
All right, that's fantastic. That's good. All right, enjoy.
Thank you. Okay. So I'm originally from South Africa, and I was looking for something like homely in Copenhagen, and then we have a group on Facebook where they suggested to come over here. It is really good.
Okay.
It lives up to the standard. Like it is, it's very tasteful. It's good.
I'm Cecilia Christensen. I'm a friend of her. I've also been to South Africa, so the food here it reminds me a lot of the food in South Africa. It's very nice, and the atmosphere and everything is super nice. Definitely.
Actually, you're already taking all my question away. How long exist here in Copenhagen? You said that you started in Aalborg.
Calling.
I don't know why I still say Aalborg because I like that city.
Yeah.
So you start from Kolding, now you're in Copenhagen.
Yes.
How long have been existence of the restaurant here in Copenhagen?
We started 2019, February. Beautiful opening, a huge support from the Black and African community of Copenhagen. It was just as if like people was waiting for a place like this. So we opened 1st of February. We had some different finger food. We had live music. People just came, and it was a very beautiful day. Yeah.
What are the challenges when coming to opening or owning a restaurant here in Europe or Scandinavia in particular?
I think there's a lot of challenges of being an entrepreneur and a restaurant owner. And I think it's not something that is a challenge only for African restaurant. Is running a restaurant in general. I think there's a lot. There's the challenge of all the paperwork that has to be done, all the different taxes that has to be paid, and also just the challenge of creating a place where everything is new. So if a Danish person goes out to eat in a Japanese restaurant, they know what they expect. But opening a place that is not known and is a complete new concept, I think I've put a lot of work in presenting, being very informative. I think that was not a challenge, it's a hard work, and it seems like it's paying off.